What's up guys, this is going to be a bit of a shorter tech video today because it's not really tech, but it's different because it's something relevant and it's also something I've never had or thought I would be able to get. Yes, if you read the title, we're talking today about the Apple credit card. I guess the technical name is the Apple Card, but it's whatever. It's the Apple credit card, Apple Card, whatever you want to call it. It's a MasterCard. The distributing bank is Goldman Sachs. Now, the physical card itself is actually titanium. It's really nice. It's got a laser-etched name, your name, on it. It's got a laser-etched Apple logo. You've got the chip built in, magnetic strip on the back, the distributing bank, and MasterCard. And otherwise, apart from it being titanium, it's a pretty bog standard credit card. All that stuff's really nice, and it does help this sort of stand out. It's sort of a nice little like conversation starter, I guess, because when you pull out a titanium card and you get that sound when you put it down on the table, it's a conversation starter, and that's really about it. In fact, it's actually not a hard card to get. The application process is dead simple. Now, I'm 25 and I've never had a credit card once in my life, and I never thought that I would need a credit card or thought to get a credit card until recently. As I'm starting to look into moving out, I'm realizing that credit is kind of important, so keep that in mind, kids. But with that being said, I was way not expecting to ever be approved for an Apple credit card. I just needed to build credit, and even my own bank didn't approve me for a credit card because I had zero credit history. And somehow, in the application, when I applied, I got approved. Now, I didn't get approved for much. It's nothing crazy. Like, I've seen these YouTubers with $8,000 and $10,000 for approved credit limits. I was approved for $250. Cool. But that's good because with any credit card, whether it be the special Apple one or any credit card, you don't want to pay for something you can't afford. You want to be able to pay it on the card and pay it off at the end of the month so you don't accrue interest, which actually ties nicely into the way this card works in general. So the way the card works, initially, the physical card is activated. You get this little paper thing, and it's Apple packaging, so you open it up, you got this fancy thing on the inside. There's an NFC tag right here, so when you hold your phone up to that NFC tag, whether the card's in there or not, it brings up the activation. Now mine's telling me the card's already been activated, that's fine. But that part, when the card showed up, was just dead simple because everything else up to that point was already done for activating a digital card in your wallet. And that's sort of the party trick for this. It's literally a credit card for iPhone users. And I think MKBHD said it best when he said that was, yes, it's a credit card for Apple users. And that's pretty much why, for a lot of people, this will probably be a card that people will want to have in their wallet. Now, there are other cards out there. I'm not saying this is the card. If you have an iPhone, you must get this card. You don't have to. There are other cards with good benefits, and a lot of them integrate in with Apple Pay, so you can actually put them into your digital wallet anyway. Even my bank was like that, but it's unfortunate that they didn't approve me, even though I've been a part of their bank for 13 years. I'm not salty or anything. But the difference with this one is it actually has a lot of security tools, convenience tools, and it actively encourages against paying interest on the card. Now, I haven't racked up enough to get interest, and I was approved for the lowest interest rate on the card, but it's still clever nonetheless. You tap on the card and you actually get a pay now option with a ring inside, and that ring gives you the option to pay a certain amount, pay less, pay more, and it will actually actively encourage you with colors not to pay interest. It's red if the interest is going to be high, yellow if it's a little lower, green if there's no interest, and then blue is fully paid off. It's actually really clever. I mean, leave it to Apple, right? And it's one of those things. I've seen a lot of people saying beware the ecosystem with this, but with this card, depending on what your financial situation is, I would almost be more inclined to say beware any credit in terms of limits, because you always want to spend exactly what you can pay, even if you have a credit line larger, or at least get a credit line where you can pay up to that over a course of time, because it's a slippery slope, and Apple has made it extremely easy to get these cards. It's literally show us a picture of your ID, give your social, give a couple other things, and annual income and all that stuff. And with all of that, you then get approved or denied for the credit card. It's dead simple. It's all on the phone. The physical card shows up later. And the benefits for the card are actually pretty good as well. I guess we can tie into that now that we've talked about how easy it is to actually get the card. What are the benefits to getting the card? Well, I've seen a lot of people saying, you get the 2% back on, there's other cards that do that, blah, 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 which is true. You do get other cards that do that. There are some, though, that are a little more limiting. This one, essentially, anywhere you have Apple Pay, you get 2% back in cash that goes straight to that Apple Cash card. You can take that cash card and dump it out to your bank account. You can put it into paying off your credit card. You can use it like cash. It's actually really cool, and it happens daily, which is extremely nice. That was something I wasn't really thinking I would be using, but I actually did. And the fact that a lot of places around here use Apple Pay mean that I'm pretty much getting 2% back everywhere. And in the places where you don't get the option to pay with Apple Pay, you simply use the physical card and get 1% back, which is nice. It's still in cash, so that's good, or still in the Apple Cash, which is good. And if you buy stuff at an Apple store, which the nearest Apple store for me is about 300 miles away. It's a distance. It's quite a long drive. Yeah, I don't have that option, unfortunately. But you get 3% back if you buy stuff at an Apple store, which I guess you could just buy things from an Apple retail store or online, and they both count. And as you buy things, they show up on the digital card showing you what has what in terms of how much you've spent in certain categories. You've got green for travel, you've got blue for transportation, so if you travel somewhere and book a flight, you get it in green. If you transport, or if you get transportation through like Uber, that would be in blue. You have orange for things like buying food, which most of mine was either orange or yellow. Yellow is going to be shopping. You also get pink for entertainment, which is kind of neat. So I guess if you go to the movies or you buy stuff on iTunes, that is going to be one of those, pink things on the card. Red is for health and purple is for services. Health is obvious. I don't know what services would be considered, but it's on there and it shows up when you buy stuff. And it's fast too. That was actually what really surprised me. For this video, I actually bought a roll of film, and the instant I hit purchase, it showed up right away, and you can see it pop up on the card. It's actually really cool, and I think it's one of the things that's going to cause a lot of people to want to keep an eye and see what happens as you buy things on these cards. And when you start out, it's white. So it's kind of a good visual way to see what kind of interest you're accruing or what you've bought and how much you've bought. At the end of the day, it is kind of funny. I never thought I'd see the day where I'm making a tech video talking about a credit card. And it's probably one of the biggest, look what we can do moments that Apple's done in recent history. It was that, the Mac Pro, and maybe 2 or 3 other things in recent history that has been to the same level of look what we can do. And this just sort of makes it kind of an extra level of weird and awesome, and I kind of like it. Maybe I'm weird. Or maybe I'm an Apple sheep. I know everybody's going to probably say that. Either way, my experience with the Apple Card has been actually pretty good. I haven't had any issues with it. I've had a lot of places where I've been able to buy things with Apple Pay and get that 2% back, building up credit, and I've been paying it off regularly, and I've actually been paying it off early because I hate having any sort of debt, but it helps build my credit score. And apart from that, I think for me, it's a good credit builder. For a lot of other people, it may be useful if you're buying a lot of Apple products. It might be useful if you use Apple Pay a lot and you have that option around you more than most. Either way, I think it's actually a pretty good idea that they did it. They've done it before in the past. Yes, they actually have made a credit card in the past, and it never really came fully to fruition, but you can look it up. But either way, I think this one's going to stick around a little bit longer because Apple wasn't quite in as good of a place back then as they are now. And yeah, I can't wait to see where it goes from here and what things they'll add, what benefits will change and stuff like that. But either way, I think you guys get the gist. I hope you guys enjoyed this shorter video. I tried to narrow it down because I know I ramble a lot, but either way, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video. Make sure to be there and have a good one.